Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the American Investor Show. Please click subscribe if this is your first time listening. From trader and CEO interviews to breaking news about companies you won't hear anywhere else, nobody does a better job at keeping you in the know when it comes to penny stocks. The term penny stock generally refers to a security issued by a very small company that trades at less than $5 per share. Penny stocks are extremely risky, yet they offer rates of return on investment not seen anywhere else. The host, guest, and callers are not registered financial advisors licensed by any government entity, and therefore, the following should be considered entertainment. The host, guest, and callers disclaim all liability in the event any information, commentary, analysis, opinions, advice, and/or recommendations prove to be inaccurate, incomplete, or unreliable, or result in any investment losses. Before investing in penny stocks, you should consult a professional to determine what strategy may be best for your individual needs. Now, without further ado, your host, LaSalle Anungu.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's your boy Sal in the building. Been 3 weeks since I've had a show. This is very impromptu because, guys, it's hard to do a show when you got money. You know, when money's coming in. You know what I'm saying? When money's coming in, it's hard to do this YouTube shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. It's hard to do this shit when these penny stocks are popping. Shout out to the people coming into the audience. I don't know how many people are going to be here today, but I just wanted to, continue to spread the love and joy that the market brings me and should bring to you if you take this seriously. Shout out to Donzel Essex, Chris McKinney. What's going on, Chris? Quantavious Lanier, G. Stees, first time. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for coming in and joining us in the chat room. And, it's been 3 weeks, right? It's been 3 weeks since I've been on the show. And, let's talk about where we are in terms of a market. And one thing you realize is we haven't really gone too far. In the 3 weeks since my last show, we've only gotten upward like $4 when we talk about the SPY ETF, right? In many other stocks, we've actually gone slightly lower. In a lot of stocks, we've kind of gone sideways, right? If we take a look at stocks like Amazon, we'll talk about the pennies. What's going on, Dawson? What's going on, Backyard Specialist? Yeah, a little bit, been a little MIA. But again, it's hard to do this YouTube shit when you're trading well. When you're trading well. And the pennies have been really, really good to me these last. We got a ton of runners in the pennies. Ton of runners in the pennies. I put up one we had today, 6,000% gain. Shout out to Ken. Ken told me about the stock a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. Actually, I knew about it before then. I got the alert before then, but I just threw some money at it. And it still popped off today, 2.5 weeks later. Fuzz taking off. Yeah, Fuzz, shout out to Fuse. Shout out to Fuse. I keep calling that fucking thing Fuzz, but Fuse. They did the reverse split. I wasn't really happy about that. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't really happy about that because, when we talk about Fuse, which they changed their name. What's their new ticker now? I'm out of it. I'm out of it now. Although it will go higher. I'll give them that. But I didn't like that because I got some different kind of intel about the reverse not coming so soon. So I felt, I kind of felt a little in my feelings about that. But going back to what I was saying about the market, we haven't gone anywhere. And in fact, we're starting to see a couple articles. I read one today, an opinion piece by Avi Gilbert, a former hedge fund guy, Elliott Wave technical analyst, founder of ElliottWaveTrader.net. And Elliott Wave, too, is it's kind of one of those, 1, 2, 3. I mean, but some people say it works. Some people say it works. I looked into it. It was just too confusing for me. Too confusing for me. But they're saying that we could be heading lower, right? We could be heading lower. And looking at the candlesticks, looking on the candlesticks in the weekly chart is showing that we're a little tired here. We're a little tired here. There's a little bit of uneasiness here as we lay here on the 50 RSI line on the weekly. The daily candlesticks too on the SPY, they don't give you utmost confidence. But again, we're hanging on that 10 moving average. I got the 10 moving average now on the chart right now, just to kind of, make sure that we're talking about a stock here that's on a very high note in terms of a short-term moving average. So if we drop below that, which is that 1070 or 270 right now on SPY, then we know we have at least broken the short-term positive moving momentum. All right, the short-term positive moving momentum. And this is a very, good as well as scary, moving average to trade, because it punishes you pretty aggressively if you get it wrong. All right, if you get it wrong. I'm going to tell you right now, I was a victim here on January 3rd when we broke below the moving average, and then we opened up very next day $7 higher. Right, so they're punishing you if you try to short below this moving average. As you can see, the bulls really come in after we break because they know they're going to get the help from the White House, from the Fed, and when it comes to buying these stocks higher. Right? When we last saw each other, we were still talking about a Fed that was still on the fence about whether or not they wanted to continue the current QE policies, right? Whether or not they were going to continue to sell off their balance sheet, which they were doing, and what caused quite a bit of volatility at the end of the year, and at the beginning of this year. But come to find out now, they're talking about not increasing interest rates ever again. In fact, they're talking about another layer of quantitative easing, right? And if we're already giving money away for free, and 0.2 paces 5 increase on the interest rate sends us 14% lower, forget about it. We're never going to have a real market to trade. We're just going to ride this thing into a full crash, right? We're just going to ride this thing to a full crash. But at the end of the day, you've got to respect the moving averages. You've got to go long, right? It's saying long. This is the signal. You got your crossover and you're long, and you've got to stay long until the moving averages show you differently. All right, unless you got some other kind of technical signal, please let me in on it. Let me in on it. All right. Yes, it's going to be verb. That's right, Andrew. Appreciate you. Shout out to Andrew. What's going on, Dawson again? MacTown in the house. Yeah, typically after a reverse split, the stocks do sell off. And I posted something like that again on my Twitter, because when you see a reverse split and the outstanding gets split, but then you don't see a difference, or you don't see that split being carried over to the authorized shares, that's a huge sell signal. That's a huge sell signal, because that means that the company's looking to dilute, right? So the outstanding shares get chopped in half, or by 200 or 300 or 400% or whatever it is, 10 to 1, 400 to 1, whatever it is. But the outstanding is still huge. They're looking to sell that to somebody. They're looking to sell that into the marketplace for a higher price. But we didn't see that in Fuse. In fact, we saw that first day sell off after the split, and now it's bounced to a very nice range. So I actually like what Fuse is doing. And then again, eventually we become Verb. But FUSZD is the ticker. Like, beautiful. Look at that. We can put the Keltner channels on that beautiful day in Fuse. Again, this is, great. What a great day. What a great day in the stock. All right. We saw a couple of days of selling off there after the split, right? Had to get those guys out of there, including guys like me, because I just don't like dealing with these higher price stocks if I'm not in an option. I'll play the options, but I'm seeing these higher numbers. I don't know. I just don't like them. But again, shout out to Fuse. They're going higher, now going to the bigger exchanges. And it's a danger there too. There's dangers lurking there too when you go to those higher exchanges and you get that higher level of scrutiny, right? You get that higher level of scrutiny. So I'd love to see Fuse and see how they perform moving forward. Yeah, shout out to Mark the Engineer coming on the show, letting you guys know what it was, man. Shout out to Mark the Engineer. He came on the show, let you guys know what it does, what it do. And the stock went higher, and we delivered, man. I don't bring guys on the show who aren't going to deliver real profits for traders. I don't talk about tickers that aren't going to, really generate any real money. We're not here to have bag holders. right? We're not here to create a generation of bag holders here. We're here to grow our accounts. Um, when we talk about Pred, I put out the word on Pred today. You know, right out the gate, we started a little slow, but again, I tweeted about it. I tweeted about Pred. You know, all right, we were right out the gate, man, right out the gate. Not wasting any time, and we're gonna go higher tomorrow. We're gonna go higher tomorrow. You can wait for the pullback if you want to. Grab them if we do, right? But this stock is going higher, man. This stock is going higher. We're seeing a lot of money coming into the stock. I should put the colored volume, or I can also use on balance volume, but let me just go put the colored bars in here just to show you guys the kind of money that's coming into this thing right now. All right, got a lot of money coming into Pred. You're really going to see it. Let me see, there it is in the hourly charts. All right, a lot of money coming into Pred right now. It's looking really good, setting up really good on Pred. In fact, if you take a little bigger view of things, let's go to the weekly. We're just setting up. We're just setting up. A guy talked to me, hey, am I late on Pred? Absolutely not. When we start getting, 4 or 5 candlesticks out of the Keltner channels on the weekly, then you can get scared. Then you can get scared. But right now, I would be all over it. I would be all over it. And the news is simple. This news is just simply the fact that, there's some real big developments that are happening with the stock. And hopefully we're going to start seeing some real powerful news on Pred real soon. VYST is another ticker. VYST. I mentioned that earlier in the show. I mean, just look at that, man. It just speaks for itself, bro. Just speaks for itself. Again, I've always talked about, it breaking that 50 RSI when you talk about penny stocks, right? Talk about any stock, but the going over that 50 RSI is where the power moves happen, man. You got to be over that 50, right? And it's got to stay over that 50. And as long as it stays over that 50, I don't care if it comes back 20%. If we're over the 50 RSI, you can still get a huge move out of the stock. And you had a lot of guys got scared out of VYST. We had a couple 10%, 13% days in there, and you missed out. You missed out on the big move today. Shout out to Ken, man. Shout out to Ken. He brought it to my attention again a week and a half ago, and I had saw it moving. But I was waiting for a really good sell-off day. And so when we got 3 in a row, but then we were still hanging over the 10 moving average, I said, look, you got guys buying the dip here. You got guys buying the dip here. And here we are now, damn near closing at the high of the day on VYST. So, looking at the charts, you say take your profits. A lot of people don't like it when I say this, but look, I'm going to run with my money when I'm up that big. I'm going to take my bag. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to JT. Appreciate you, bro. You think SHS, man, that's... If I could say one play that I regret over the last 2.5, 3 weeks is this play right here. One play that I can honestly say I regret is this play right here. Huge regrets because, I love the pennies more than anything, right? They hurt you. You can fall in love with them. It's a love-hate thing. But when you start seeing pennies that are, 10 cents or higher, when they start running, recently I had been like, when they're over a dime and they start running and it starts getting real fidgety, But this one just had me on the fence, and it just ran away from me. It just got to a point where it just ran away. It just ran away. Here we go here on SHMP. It just ran away last week, and there was just nothing I could do. It was just nothing I can do. That's a beast. That's a beast. Yeah, JT. Yeah, it was at nothing. It was virtually at nothing, man. It was virtually at nothing, and it had my signals, my 20, that 50 RSI. It had all my signals, bro. And I was like, I don't know, and it just, and it just takes off, Shout out to Money Stay Woke. Yeah, the Sears thing. We talked about the Sears thing. I'm just not a Q stock guy, but we talked about the fact that you're gonna put your money up to save your own company. You gotta buy his stock, man. The dude puts his own money up to save Sears. He put his own money up, to save the company. So of course you're gonna have to go in, beneath. We told you it was gonna move to $1. So shout out to those Q traders. I'm just not a Q trader, but that we knew that was going up. We talked about that on last show. He put his own money up, man. Bankruptcy judge blesses company $5.2 billion plan by Sears chairman and biggest shareholder. The largest shareholder, put his own resources up to save the company. You got to go in behind that. Said you bought SHMP at 3, sold at 18. I wouldn't do it again. It's scary. It's scary when the market, you're in a stock and you're up huge. You don't know how far it's going to keep going higher. So it can be scary sometimes. And then when you're out, right, when you're sitting on the outskirts, you're like, God damn, I don't want to be a bag holder. I don't want to buy too high. So sometimes you end up sitting back and getting smoked, right? And then wishing and hoping that you did something. Those of you guys who've been following me on Twitter, I was talking about EA. I was talking about EA last week. I knew EA wasn't going to last. That was a beautiful short squeeze on EA. They came out with that stupid game that won't make them any money, by the way. That won't make them any money. EA has always been a pay first, pay the game kind of company. Right, you pay the $59.99 or whatever overpriced, game they're selling for the moment, and now they're moving to free to play. Free to play is going to hurt them in the long run. They're going to end up selling, letting go of people, cutting back on resources that they have if they're going to move to a free to play model. Right, I just want to touch EA real quick. We'll get back to the pennies. I just want to touch this real quick. This is going lower. I called 95 last week. 106 opened. It opened up today. 102 got to 106. More 95s. More of those March 15th 95s. I went in with more. I knew it wasn't going to last. All right. They got squeezed to death. And sure enough, there was nothing else to grab there. And if you get back to the 5-minute chart, you'll see it. And you started in the morning. You just started going sideways. These small candles, these dojis. Right? And this is easy to tell. See this a million times. All right? And then, of course, that 50 RSI break, and it's game over after that. I mean, it's a game over after that. Say EA makes crap games. Yeah, I mean, they're not as good as they used to be. I'll be honest with you. They're not as good as they used to be in terms of their own creative division. If you notice now, they basically take in other people's stuff. So they basically buy other people's projects and then slap their name on them. So it'll be something studios, and then EA is the basically the distributor. All right. Appreciate you, SEC Trader. Yeah, SHMP, and somebody asked me, SHMP, is it a legit play? What is legit to you, man? My definition of legit is really changed, man. I'm not gonna lie, I used to be that guy who looked at the balance sheet and be like, man, this is bullshit. And I still see the same thing when I look at companies like Shopify, which is earnings is due tomorrow morning. All right? Bullshit balance sheet. Great numbers, but the valuation is ridiculous. $21 billion? Get the fuck out of here, man. So I'm going to be really interested in seeing these numbers from Shop tomorrow. Even if they beat tomorrow, even if Shop beats tomorrow, I still think you put a spread on this. You get yourself a out of the money call, right? If in case it runs on you, but you get yourself an out of money to put with some time on it to see if we sell off, because you're going to make some money somehow on this tomorrow. It's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. But Shop has had an incredible couple weeks and holding this wonderful trend line so well. So well. I haven't heard anything from Tony and USEI. I haven't heard anything from USEI recently. Marijuana's been doing good, but it hasn't really spread to the OTC side yet. You know, I'm waiting for the SRNA to really start taking up. You know, SRNA, you know, they got a new CEO. They should be putting out a 10Q or 10K. I think it's Q. They announced it. Yeah, they're going to be announcing their new Q4 report here soon. I'm surprised the stock hasn't moved. I'm actually quite surprised with the numbers they put up back in November. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, my show is one of those things where I put it out there and all of a sudden it starts running. So we'll see if some guys jump on it. What's going on, Sal Baptiste? Yeah, I mean, just to recap on Pred, man, I mean, it's just done its thing, man. It's just doing its thing right now. You guys know what the number is, 305-600-2896. God damn, I forgot I forgot, yeah, that Skype's got that. Gosh, whatever. If it gets annoying, then I'll turn it off. But Pred, nice play on Pred. Nice play on Pred. What's going on, Lord? Alex, what's going on? AKS, all the gold players are running too. We'll talk about that in a bit. AKS, that setup reminds me of some puts that I took in on this Brazil play, EWZ. I put some, because it's cracking underneath my signal here on EWZ. We'll talk about that in a second. AKS right now hanging on for dear life, man. Hanging on for dear life. Got 10 moving average there. Hanging on for that 50. Got some good volume coming in there. What's the catalyst for steel? What's the catalyst for steel right now with China doing what it's doing, and you know, trade talks still up in the air, and everybody's talking about trade talks as if we're gonna win this shit. We're not gonna win this shit. You know, everybody, oh, the trade might get like, nope, we're not going to come on the winning side of trade negotiations. This is America. American employees cost a lot of money. You know, we're a very expensive workforce. We're not going to come out on the winning side of a trade negotiation with people who earn, you know, $3 or $4 an hour. So all this bullshit that's going on at CNBC and all that, at this point, they're just trying to sell the idea of it getting done. Right? And if that's the case, then, you know, buy the short term, but sell the story. All right? Buy the page, sell the story. How about that? All right? Because it'll be a nice little one-day thing, but when people actually start to calculate the numbers, it's not going to add up for the best for these companies. You know, it's not going to end up the best. Yeah, we just got done talking about SHMP. Just got done talking to SHMP. Absolutely. Somebody saying gold, gold, gold. Just set it and forget it. Set it and forget it. You see what they're playing with us, though. They're playing with us. You got to understand, gold, silver, commodities in general are manipulated. What's the word for it? I guess I could just use currencies. But on paper, they're, you know, and as a commodity, they're incredibly manipulated and held back. Incredibly manipulated. And the reason why is because many of these banks, they don't have it. They don't have it. They work together to keep gold, silver locked in the box. You know, gold, silver should be trading, I'd say maybe $300 to $400 higher than it is right now, maybe more. And again, that's just looking at the current risk scenario globally. You know, gold should be trading significantly higher than it is right now, way higher. And if you can afford to get yourself some physical gold and silver, by all means do it. Hell, even if you can't afford that, you're broke as fuck, Grab yourself some copper. Grab yourself some copper. You can buy copper. There are publicly traded copper companies. I don't think there's a copper ETF, but copper is the poor man's way to trade commodities. All right, it's a poor man's way to trade commodities, and it's a little bit of a slower move, but it's a consistent move. All right, and at the end of the day, when we have a financial crisis, these commodities will adjust accordingly, and you will see, these commodities rise in value. All right, because there's only so long they can do. Morgan Stanley dumping paper and buying. Absolutely. The Chinese they can't get enough gold. The Chinese can't get enough gold. They're moving into Africa. They're buying resources. They know where the value lies. They know where the real money lies here. And there are great videos on YouTube to describe our current economic situation. We're a debt-based society, and debt-based societies always fail in the long term. So eventually we're going to fail, and it's going to be in our lifetime, because we're at this point, we're too hard. I don't want to hear that about, as a percentage of GDP. If GDP decreases, guess what? That means that debt ratio becomes absurdly high. Absurdly high. People look at debt as a percentage of GDP. Well, guess what? GDP has to keep steady in order for that debt not to become a serious issue. Where if GDP declines, you're fucked. Somebody says, "Oh, what's going on, Mr. Lloyd?" So my phone is not on. Brief moment. Let me. I just hate to interrupt people with that noise, but I'm not going to take too many calls. All right. So you want to position yourself accordingly. You want to position yourself accordingly when we talk about. Come on. Well, I don't have to install that. What are you talking about? I already got it. Windows is. Let me see here. Skype desktop app. Okay. All right. So poor man's version of commodity trading. You can buy copper, or just buy GLD. I mean, obviously at the end of the day, currency crisis, leveraged assets, paper will end up failing, but at least in the short term, it might be able to work out for you. All right. But in the end of things, GLD, all these things, it'll be hard to get paid once that adjustment happens. It'll be hard to get paid. Just being honest with you. Particularly when you're talking about some of those leveraged plays, right? When you're talking about, the JNUGs of the world. I mean, these are leveraged plays that, if we get an adjustment of that $300,000, $400,000 move, it's going to be, it's going to be hard for your broker to deliver what's owed to you. But that's a different conversation. That's a different conversation. Asking me, am I a millionaire? Hell no, I'm not a millionaire. I would not be on YouTube. But the money's coming in to a point where I don't have to be on here like a slave every day. Andrew Medina, LFAP. It's really interesting what happened to that, man. I need some clarification on what happened to LFAP. Hold on here. Where's my Skype not? Wait for a moment. Good old Windows. You click to open it and it doesn't do anything. Yeah, somebody needs to clarify what happened on LFAP, because I don't know what happened to that today. Obviously there was some major dumping in LFAP today. Man, Windows fucking sucks sometimes, man. Let me see here. Let me get out of that. Yeah, my Skype, for whatever reason, is not opening. Hold on. I don't want to do that alt control delete shit. Let's go on LFAP pre 13 14C raising. Oh shit, Mick, are you serious? And no wonder they're getting out of that. No wonder they ran for the hills today in LFAP. No wonder they ran for the hills. Yeah, Mr. Lloyd, I'm trying to get it up here, but I don't want to fuck up everything else to get the calls going. I'm telling you, they're going to pump it up after hours. I'm not surprised at where we are at. We're pre-market, we're down 100 points, and then we open up $30. That's what it is. Everybody's long. The Federal Reserve's long. Your job 401k is long. The brokers give you margin to go long. Everybody's long. You know, nobody wants to see lose. We go down 100 points, and they start talking on CBS on CNBC. Could we retest the lows? Could we retest the lows? Like we're not supposed to go down. You know, these people don't want a real market, man. They just want us all to fucking lose. They want us all to fucking lose. While they get to work with billions of dollars and they get to be on both sides of the trades. All right? They get to be on both sides. They're buying puts, buying calls, making money both ways. You know, while you got to decide. How about Nuff's ticket change? What's up, Beef? NUFZD. What the hell is that? NUFZD. What is that? I don't see a ticker for that, bro. NUF. Yeah, I don't see a ticker for that, man. What is? That's definitely not it. Nah, it's cool, Mr. Lloyd. I got to get it straightened out, man. I was working all day, and now all of a sudden, we're having issues here. But I know as soon as I do that alt delete shit, it's gonna fuck up my whole system. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Hold on, let me just do this shit, man. Hold on, task manager. Brief moment. Microsoft Edge. Hold on. Yeah, I don't see it running though, man. Alright. I'm back. Hopefully I didn't go out or anything like that. But I did that alt delete thing. It's not running in the background. I don't know, man. It's just, the Skype is just bullshit. I don't know what they did to Skype. They just fucked it all over. But I'm going to have it up for the next show. It's not going to be 3 weeks. I promise this time. Your Pred was up over 30 cents. Thank you, SEC Trader. And it's going higher. Pred is going higher. Pred is going higher. Pred is going higher, man. What I need is an economic collapse so pennies could really be hot again. That's what we need. We need an economic collapse. Okay, let's go. HM, you said people bought because they thought Maxim, the MMM, was holding half the shares is fake. It's a different Mac. Yeah, I saw guys talking about this Maxim. I don't give anybody in the market that much power. You know, when you start seeing guys start talking about, hey, there's somebody in there buying and there's creating, understand, like, nobody's really, like, using that much capital like that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when we were talking about pennies, nobody's really risking, you know, huge to be that boogeyman on the play like that. You know, that doesn't really make sense. You know, that doesn't really hold water with me. You know, you just had guys who were just selling, and somebody just talked about the fact that they put out something that they were going to reverse, and yeah, that scares guys. Guys don't want to be a part of that because they know what it is. They know what it means. You know, people know what reverse splits mean. It means you're going to dilute me. You know, you're making it cheaper to sell more. You know, calls on Nike, puts on UA. Yeah, UA, Under Armour is tomorrow, right? Under Armour is tomorrow. Nvidia is, I think, Thursday. I'm really looking forward to Shopify tomorrow. I think I'm also looking forward to EA. EA put out a press release overnight. See, these companies are so fucking janky, bro. EA sold the shit out of the stock, and then they release a press tonight talking about, yeah, we got 25 million users on this free game that we're not really making any money on. So it's up after hours right now, EA, and then you know, buy puts on that high, right? But be careful on that because you're probably going to get squeezed. You know, guys are squeezing because you do have some guys that are holding shorts overnight that are going to have to cover tomorrow morning. So I could see EA very well opening at 102, going back to 106, 107, 108, but somewhere up there, 108, 109, 110, maybe not even that high. It's going to come back down. But they're putting on another short squeeze after what came out. So speaking of Nike, yeah, great earnings for them, which I don't understand how Nike continues to deliver year after year after year. Which, I mean, yeah, they got a strong brand, but at the end of the day, some of the numbers, I'm just like, man, how do they deliver so much? You know, because I'm looking at the way the society plays itself. It's got a lot of competition out there, so it just hasn't gotten there yet to where they're feeling it, right? They're just not feeling it yet. They'll feel it eventually because, I mean, all brands eventually die, but Nike's still been able to, you know, stay afloat. They're still the premium brand. But please believe Nike will one day be a Macy's, will end up be a, you know, a brand that eventually, you know, loses its value. You know, eventually. That time will come for them. Yeah, they raised their price target. Yeah, so I mean, it's you know, they're still the big gorilla. You know, it is what it is with Nike. You know, but again, I'm a very, when it comes to these major, these large caps, I'm very much a short bias trader. All right, very much a short bias trader. Let me see here. All right. Let me see here. Yeah, this guy's mad that I blew my load in his mom's mouth. Hold on. Let me ban him. Let me see. I'm gonna figure out how to. Fuzz Crone. We're gonna check out Crone in a minute. Check out Crone in a minute. Let's just do it now, actually. Crone, CRON. All right. So we just closed below the 10. That's a Chronos. Tell me a little bit. Yeah, it's an MJ stock. Okay, yeah, MJ stock. Thought so. Chronos, yeah, the MJ stock. Was this the one that was bought out by that other company? By that large cap company? I don't think it was Chronos, right? I don't think it was them. Yeah, I blocked them. URI calls. URI calls for June. What's going on, me Marine? Yeah, I am short EWZ because it just broke my 25 moving average trading signal. And check out my video, the only trading thing you ever need. All you really need is I'm for real. All you really need is moving averages. You'll be surprised how like all the bullshit that I spent years trying to figure out strategy, this and this, and then a moving average solved everything. And just having a discipline to follow. Appreciate you, Malik Green. But anyway, EWZ broke my 50 RSI, broke my moving average. Believe it's 20. Yep, there it is. So broke my 25. And so I think it's just a situation where we got a president over there that's just over promising, and he's going to end up over delivering. So I'm going to be in that for a couple weeks. I'm going to be there in a couple weeks. All right. Alex, you said use the 13 EMA. That's a good sign too. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. Yeah, appreciate you guys. I don't know why it's not letting me. I don't know if YouTube's not letting people ban or what. Yeah, Mr. Lloyd, after all these years, bro, it was just moving averages. Having the discipline to stick with a moving average, and I decided on 25. 10 is what I have on the screen now, just for us to kind of let us know what's hot and what's not. But 25 is what I use to say, okay, there's a change in trend. Absolutely. Yeah, unlearning what you learned, right? Because there's a lot of bullshit. There's just a lot of bullshit out there. VWAP on Chrome. Yeah, VWAP is interesting too. I never got caught up into it. I never got caught up into it, but I know Bats. That was Bats thing. Unsupported resolution. What do you mean? Chrome can't do VWAP. Unsupported resolution. What is that? Oh. Somebody else doing that? VWAP, unsupported resolution. Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe because I have something else on here. Let me take away some moving averages, maybe. VWAP built in. Yeah, I don't know why I'm getting that unsupported resolution bullshit. Do the hours on what chart? Do I do the 25 moving average on penny stocks? No, the 25-10, I don't do that. I only for 25 on the buy. 25 for 25-10 doesn't work really well on those OTC plays. So I just want to be over the 25 moving average or the 50 RSI when we talk about OTCs. I just want to be over it. All right. For example, let's SHM. Well, let's just go back to SHM&P real quick. Even though this moved a little bit too fast, right? Get rid of that. I think our moving average, right? So I just want to be over, and let me just make sure this is 25. Yep, set to 25, right? So I just want to be over the 25 moving average. So I want to have be up above the 25 moving average, and I want to be over the 50 RSI, and that's my buy. That's my buy signal. And I'm only going to sell if we crack below that. I'm only going to sell if we crack below that. All right, and you know, and then because if you put the 10, you get some false signals, right? You get some false signals, right? Which is you know, depending on who you are, you might have liked that you know, what is that? You got in at what, triple or 6 cents, and then you get out at 25 cents. That's a nice move, right? That's a 400% move, right? That's a 400% move. Using my trading strategy, but you know, if you would have just stuck with the 25 moving average, it kept you into the trade. It kept you into the trade. Now, this is not going to work for every single, you know, OTC stock, but for every false signal that you get that runs above 25 and comes back, you only need one to make up everything else back. you only need one to make up everything else back. Again, I'm using the hourly chart, right, showing you that short-term momentum. All right, and then obviously, as you can see here, if we go into a daily, you're going to get slightly late, slightly late in there a little bit. So it's going to get you in a little bit later, but at the end of the day, you see, it just ran away from the moving average. It just ran away from the moving average. Yeah, VWAP works for daytime frames. That's correct. You see, I'm not, VWAP. Yeah, that's probably why I wasn't doing it right. And you can see that's why I'm so not familiar with. I'm still getting that error though. I don't know, something's being janky. I'll email them about that. Yeah, everyone uses a different moving average. It just depends on what you're comfortable with. A shorter term, you're a type of guy who just, it doesn't worry too much about a false signal. I just want a little bit of reassurance because I figure if you get below 25, then you're probably going to hit 50. And it's just one of those things where, especially on the short side of the trade, so it allows me to kind of make some good money doing that kind of 25 to 50, 25 to 50 kind of thing. And sometimes you get a situation where it holds for longer than that, which is one trade I made really good money on, which was Macy's. All right, you go below that 25 and you just kind of sit there for a while on some of these plays like this. Of course, more accurate even on the higher time frames, like the weekly or whatever, putting that 25 moving average and just kind of sitting there. All right, break down to 25, break down also below the 50. And, sometimes news comes out, but a shitty stock is a shitty stock and it'll always correct itself. Another stock that I'm following like that, Big is another one, right? This is another stock that I'm expecting in March to deliver bad news. It doesn't have the greatest amount of volume, but a loser is a loser, volume or not. And again, with these plays that don't have a ton of volume, you can get yourself into some great, bear call spreads where you don't even have to worry about whether or not the volume is there or not. Once you get filled, as long as it just kind of stays in that range, you're going to get paid. So that's a really great income-based play. And I used to talk about that a little bit more, kind of trading for income on a weekly basis using weekly options. Doing with that just does require a little bit more risk, and it requires you to be slightly more conservative. So on a week-to-week basis, you may have to put up a little bit more capital, and then of course your profit is capped, but you've got a higher chance of success. Right? You got a higher chance for success. For example, Shop today, I was looking at some of these bear call spreads on Shop. I'm looking at 66 on a daily RSI. I'm thinking, okay, even if they beat, how high can they go? So if you were selling the 185 against the 180, they were giving you, I can't even remember, I think they were giving you 45, 50 cents credit, right? Credit for the 15th. So you're thinking, okay, even if it opens up slightly higher, you're probably going to end up selling off by the end of the week. So you get to keep that capital. But I don't want to confuse people because it starts to get a little complicated. I don't want to confuse people, but those of you guys who know, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You said, am I blurry right now? Am I blurry? Somebody said that I'm blurry. Am I blurry right now? Let me see here. Make sure you're watching me on high quality, because I know some of you guys may be watching me on that 360p. So make sure. Okay, I'm good. Okay, I'm good. SEC traders say yes. All right, make sure you're watching me on that higher quality. If you touch the screen, you can set the settings to be watching me at a higher quality stream. Some guys is already set to 360p. Okay. All right, so give me some tickers. What else are you guys looking at? I've kind of been throwing you back and forth to the high end, the low cap, the low ends. I think I already told you guys a great way to trade gold too is this IAU ticker, right? You can't buy any options on it, but it's a great way. 12 bucks. I got my old man kind of using this as another way to kind of, just kind of build a position in gold. I'm still figuring it out. The returns are okay. It's kind of slow, right? I mean, 11 to 1180, I think we got in at it or something like that. But it's building. It's just basically a small version of GLD, and it's got great volume. Got incredible volume, tight spreads during the day. It's just that there are no options on it. So it's really for those guys who just want simplicity. They understand what a stock is, what it means, and they just kind of want to buy and sell and just look at the price and crap like that. All right, so IAU is one thing. It's really easy to understand somebody who doesn't know anything about investing that much. But hey, you want a position in gold, you want to play a hedge against this weakening global economy. This is a great ticker to put a beginner on, or somebody who just doesn't want to slap $100 or $400 or whatever it is on a ticker. USO, man, I don't know what the story is on crude. Let me get these moving averages out of here. I don't know what the story is on crude. I need to do a little bit more research on that. I used to be big on the crude plays, but after what happened there in October, November, it's just like, man, what the hell is going on? I've been loving it at the gas pump, right? I've been loving it at the pump, but in terms of the markets, it's been a disaster. XOM, what's XOM? Let's look at Exxon. It's been a disaster for them. It's been a disaster for them. And I'm not one of these guys who's going to start talking about peak crude and all that stuff. I don't believe in any of that stuff. I think crude is very well here to stay. Battery technology has gotten better though, right? Shout out to Tesla. Battery technology, cost of batteries really dropped significantly over the last 5 years because of what Tesla is doing and many other manufacturers and investors in the space. But we have yet to really see battery technology, enter the consumer space in a way that we can start to say that, hey, I don't know if we're going to be going to the gas station anymore. All right? We're still about maybe, 20 years away. But I always believe that crude will somehow play a part, all right, in our world. All right, let's take a look at some of these tickers. TEVA, $18 stock. Let me know what's the story on this. Let me know what's the story on this. All right, found its way. A couple of weeks ago did all right. Now you're kind of, selling off a little bit there. Nice week so far. That started off. We'll see what's going on here. But as you can see here, the long-term story hasn't been so good over the last couple of years. But again, on the weekly, you see what you're up against. Daily looks, a little bit healthier. But again, you got some profit taking going on here on TEVA. All right, got some profit taken here. So let's see if you got some guys coming up behind you there, to keep you lifted. To keep you lifted. I'm actually kind of surprised the pharmaceutical space is doing well. I mean, we just had the president of the United States say he wants to, put a dagger in these higher pharmaceutical prices. Now, whether he means it or not is a different thing, because he said that last year. But I know it takes time to get to things as well. So we'll see how they get affected by policy moving forward. All right. Let's take a look at RGSC, and I got you SEC Trader. Real Good Solar. Renewable energy play. Yeah, what happened to that today? I mean, you had guys come into the lows. I mean, great setup for you if you bought the bottom, but we're kind of dip buyers here. Let's see if you got the momentum to keep it going tomorrow. AMD is really interesting because AMD, you had a lot of hype after that earnings report. And what people were really excited about, because, for a long time, AMD had gotten themselves kind of caught up into the Bitcoin thing, and they were using Bitcoin on a couple of earnings reports to just justify, their business developments. And obviously, they paid the price for it coming into the new year. And they paid a price for it because Bitcoin also started selling off. But, they were able to show some really good improvement on their data center business. I'm not the biggest AMD fan, but, the company's not NVIDIA, although they have been putting out some really great products. I guess their last card they just put out, they wanted to call it the NVIDIA killer. They're putting out some good processors, man. They're putting out some good processors. All right, but, we got to get the story straight whether or not this company is for real, because we're looking at a stock that, from November, October, really hasn't gone anywhere. Shout out to you, Jermaine. You're in Pred at 84 cents, 10,000 shares. Shout out to you. I've been talking about Pred now almost 2 years. And every time I've talked about Pred on this show, we've all made really good money on Pred for the guys who jumped in. And again, I don't have any problem telling you when it's time to, jump and run. I've never had a problem with that. And you're going to see it clearly in the chart. You're going to see it in the chart. You're going to just get to these ranges, where it's just not going to make sense anymore. All right? It's just not going to make sense anymore. I'll put those Keltner channels back up there. You're going to get to some levels where it's just going to be like, whoa. And this is beginning of 2017. Right? If you guys remember that, when we were really going hard on that, I put some videos out. We made really good money that month. USTC won't move Bitcoin real estate. I've been really disappointed in Bitcoin, man. Just the way people were really hyping it up. I've been really disappointed in that. And that's another thing, too. I mean, I understand that's another, technology that's also kind of being held back. And I'm sure there's some manipulation there when it comes to cryptocurrency. I can't explain it. I'm not one of those guys. But I know there's some funny business going on with crypto as well, too. There's some funny business going on with that, too. But I can't lie. I can't tell you I'm not disappointed in the way Bitcoin has been acting. Just because, we just heard the fantastic possibilities, the 25,000, 100,000, and you were so excited with the little 1,500, 5,000 that I eventually ended up getting. And I was big on Monero. I liked Monero, and Monero was very exciting for me for a while, and then all of a sudden it just it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. And these altcoins just started shitting on themselves. All right, but let's get back to these pennies. SCYZ. SCYZ. What is that? Is that what you put in? SCYX. Oh, okay. SCYX. Oh, nice move. Oh, nice move. Look at that beautiful bullish engulfing. It's typically going to be larger than that, but again, when you got 1 week that swallows up the previous week, that's a beautiful buy signal there from the bottom of the Keltner channel. So that's actually a great entry, great signal, great entry. Oh, look at that, using that bottom Keltner channel as support, and then just now. Now you got some hesitation. It could ride that top of that channel higher until you get to some high RSI levels here. But so far, a great real start. This is a beautiful signal right there, man. That's a wonderful signal. You don't see that too often. But as you can see here, there's another great, again, I put that 25 back on there because I just love showing this. Look at that, 25 crack, 50 RSI crack. It's a beautiful short. Look at that. Oh, you got to love that. That's a beautiful. And then, of course, here's the turnaround. All right, the sellers are gone. The sellers are gone. Now you've got smart investors, dip buyers who are going into the play and now saying, hey, there's an opportunity for me here to get this stock at a very inexpensive price. Let's see what happens. Because you're willing to take the risk. You're willing to take the risk at those RSI levels. Sub 30, right? 20, 15, whatever that was there at the low. You're willing to take the risk there. Nice move. Andrew Medina, TSOI, Insiders on TSOI. What's going on, Parker Mills? Any news with marijuana? Nah, man. I saw one fake article that's being passed around about Canada paying off all their national debt with weed sales. I think that was fake, right? But besides that, man, I haven't heard anything about weed or anything like that. I mean, look what happened. We still have a country that's got some weird things, weird feelings toward marijuana. CBS rejected a $2.5 million offer for a company that wanted to make a commercial about marijuana. $2.5 million for 30 seconds, and they said no. So I mean, just think of how much of a prude you have to be to reject 30 seconds for $2.5 million because you've got a problem with marijuana. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous, man. Just absolutely ridiculous. And you can look that up too, that CBS rejected a marijuana ad for the Super Bowl. TSOI, yeah, somebody mentioned the 80% insider ownership. Andrew, what's the catalyst though? We'll continue to watch it. I do like the fact it's over the 25. It's a double zero play, right? Double zero play. Looks like we got some interest here happening. So this is the weekly chart. So above it on the weekly says a lot. Let's go back to the daily. So we're kind of, it shows that we're a little behind, right? We're a little bit behind, but looks like we got opportunities to get in here. When you start seeing candlesticks like this, it's a little scary to me. When you start seeing these kind of long-legged candlesticks, because that means there's a little, somebody who's unloading there, and but it's really interesting to see how it really overcame this rejection here. Look at that. That rejection of the highs just was completely demolished by incoming capital. But as you can see, here it is again, that 25 break, 50 RSI break. That's where all the magic happens. If you can stay above that level, and as you can see here, you get faked out sometimes too. Obviously on much lower volume, but it can fake you out too. All right. But again, if you get faked out and you write it back in, and see you make it all back if it goes right. ONCX going to Pennyland. Shirley Lewis. What's up, Shirley Lewis? Double tap Bollinger Bands, FMNA. Why Fannie Mae? Nice move though. Damn, I didn't know that Fannie Mae was making these kind of moves, bro. This has been one of those OTC tickers that I've just not paid attention to. I know interest rates. It's a very interest rate sensitive ticker. I should be paying more attention to it. Obviously, look at that, man. Again, busting through that 25 moving average, 50 RSI. It's, again, staying above that trade. And it's been a wonderful ticker. Look at that. right? I know it's an interest rate sensitive ticker, so got to learn more about how that play works. But again, another one of those very liquid OTC tickers that we should be seeing a lot more of on that exchange. We should see a lot more tickers like Fannie Mae on OTC markets with this kind of liquidity. All right. Yeah, the respect just still isn't there for OTC markets. You know, and I'd like to say it's changing, but still isn't there just yet. Select Interior Concepts, SIC. Don't know anything about this company. Yeah, huge volume day today, but I mean, I don't know anything else about the company, SIC. William Sledge, you're welcome to let us know in the chat room. CSX, all right, the train company, right? CXX. And then sometimes I read these stock market books from like the 1940s and 50s because those are the really interesting, really kind of plain as common sense kind of books on investing. And when you look at the tickers that were trading back then, they're like damn near all railroads. When you talk about the early 1910s, 1920s, 1930s, going into the 1950s, into the 1950s, that's when you start seeing a lot of the fake, phony, electronic stocks start popping up, where everything was Onyx, electronics, subatronics, those kind of fake plays start coming up. But prior to that, a ton of railroad companies. CSX, really interesting here. All right, again, this is not the small, it's not a small company, $56 billion market cap. Nice little run here, but I mean, we're talking about $2.5, $3 here. So this is never going to, but if you like that kind of consistent type of thing, slow and steady, this might be something for you, right? This might be something for you. And again, very respectful, moving really moving the charts here. Back above that 25 here, closing in, but becoming a buy here on the weekly charts. So really looking steady for you. All right, but yeah, these are these aren't the cheapest plays to move in terms of stock to stock. Obviously, the options wouldn't be so bad. I don't know if they're liquid or not. I'm not a pattern guy. I used to do that whole. What type of pattern or fuck that? Is it moving? Is it going across my moving averages? 25, 50 RSI. Are we holding the 10? Are we below the 10? That's it. Trying to memorize patterns. You guys remember we used to trying to memorize patterns. I used to be on what's his name, Cameron Foose, trying to memorize his sunshine pattern, all these other bullshit. Man, fuck that shit, man. Y'all had me losing money out here doing that shit. ONCX, Oncolics. Here's Oncolics, 0046. Who's pumping this? 360% on your first day gets me a little nervous, man. That's a lot for day one. That's a lot for day one. Because when I start seeing stuff like this on day one, now I'm thinking, man, do you have anything left? It's hard to keep a play like this moving when you're up that big on day one. 30%, 18, 35. 40, let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. I'm not going to shit on it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. You're coming from a very low RSI, so you're not tapped out, right? You're not tapped out. I just want to see what happens over the next 2 days. You can very well blow up tomorrow. And when I say blow up, I mean in a good way, blow up higher. All right, you got a lot of space up there. You got a lot of air up there. All right, I mean you literally popped off at what 37 on the RSI. So this thing was was damn near dead. All right. And what I love about it is that the whoever ever came, they came in with you, because you're not seeing that kind of big accumulating prior to. Actually, let me not speak too early. Let's move to an hourly. Yeah, I mean, you actually interesting. You had actually some selling into the pop, which is very interesting. Or it could be guys who are just taking it off level 2, but all right, maybe had some bag holders up there looking to sell for peanuts, and that could very well be it too. But I'm not seeing that in the in the volume here. So they came in there with you. That's a good look here on these shorter time frames. But let's see how much. Let's see how much you got left. Let's see how much you got left, and we'll be here on the show to talk about it. All right. We'll be here to talk about it. Somebody brought up Facebook. Yeah, Facebook, man. We talked about Facebook here a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about how I just felt like since August people just had their guns out for Facebook. I mean, the company has never done anything bad to anybody, right? They got blamed him for Hillary Clinton and Russian bots, and man, fuck you. Russian bots don't make you go into the voting booth and vote against somebody who people don't genuinely like, So I just thought that was whole bullshit for the last couple of weeks, or last couple of months rather, on what was going on with Facebook. But things seem to be recovering. They put out a really great earnings report, expressing what everybody already knew, especially people like Gary Vaynerchuk was talking about. There's really nowhere else to go to get in front of the next generation than these mobile apps like Facebook, like Instagram, and Snapchat. There's nowhere else to go. They're not watching television. All right, billboards is not going to get it done. Newspapers are not going to get it done. You got to go to Facebook. And Facebook's worked for me. I've used Facebook on some of my promos. $200, $300, getting an ad in front of, 30,000, 40,000, 100,000 people. For black box. I use Facebook ads for my black box stuff. Timothy Sykes, you can actually sell to people who like Timothy Sykes. Right? You type in Timothy Sykes. So I want to advertise to everyone 22 to 55 who follows Tim Sykes. I do that every month, bro. Do that every month. Some people see it, some people don't. And, and that's how you target people who are going to be into the kind of things that you want to sell. So affiliate marketers, companies, brands, small businesses, that's the way to go. That's the way to go. So it just makes perfect sense, and Facebook should go a lot higher. And again, the only thing that could stop that is really if we just kind of get a market-wide recession. But as long as we continue to keep the policy that we have in place, Facebook, why not $180, $200 Facebook again? All right, make Facebook great again. Hey, $800 is $800, bro. There's nothing wrong with that. $800 profit is good profit. You don't want to looking at don't just look at $800. Look at it as, how is this $800 if I do this multiple times? Either this month or over the course of the next couple months. How does this look over the course of a year? Right? How does that look over the course of a year? Making sure you're getting in front of the right tickers on the OTC side. Like I said, we just showed you, VYST. Again, my bad that I got it late. VYST up 6,000%, bro. 6,000%. And Equity Feed was giving me the signal. Like, Equity Feed was like, this is a buy, this is a buy. You know, and again, I put that 25 here. Here's the spike above it. All right, staying above it, staying above it. All right, and again, here's your 25 break, or excuse me, 50 RSI break. All right, and usually they'll be right on top of each other. You kind of use them to confirm each other. Another way you can do this is using on balance volume. For example, you can price on balance volume indicator. All right, on balance volume. Let me darken that up for you. And then put a moving average on top of it. And again, I'm moving average. Some people like to use the exponential. Brief moment. Let's see here. Let's go with a different color. How about that green looks retarded on it. But let's go with that. That's fine. And then let's go with 25 on that. All right, on balance volume is really sensitive, so you're probably going to see it on the hourly. All right, and there it goes. A little bit off center here, but as you can see here, that's you know, will follow itself, where you see here the stock crosses the moving average, and you see on balance volume showing the increase in demand for the stock, and it's just kind of stays above it, right? So that's another way to do it. You can do it with that too. Obviously, there's some more cleaner charts. Maybe see if I can find a cleaner chart to kind of show that to you. So on balance volume is a great way to do that as well. But it's going to very much, I mean, but if you got RSI up, it's pretty much the same thing. It's a great ticker to use on some of the larger ones, right? Let me see here. Yeah, I guess that spike. Hold on. Yeah, it's not looking so pretty on this one. I know some of you guys say use 13 because I know that's what a lot of people do, but let me see. I need something has got a real trend. It's got too many spikes in here. It's got a real trend to it. All right, so yeah, this is a good one. Okay, MasterCard is a good one. That's a good one. So here it is. Here's the moving average, right? That I like to stuff. Here's the RSI, and then as you can see, it's also being confirmed with on balance volume and the moving average. All right. So here's your confirmation. Here's your buy signal. 3 in a row. Boom, 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 boom. All right. And that's your buy signal. So, you know, but again, they kind of work together. As you can see, sometimes it's more sensitive than others, right? On certain tickers. On balance volume doesn't, you know, the huge kind of spikes out of nowhere can kind of throw it off. So it's a really good setup for more consistent stocks. Like we had Shirley Lewis bring up CX. As you can see here, volume is pretty consistent, so you're not seeing a real spike in volume. All right, so let me get this off the screen because I don't want to cloud it. I hate when I'm watching somebody who's just got way too many indicators. All right, let's keep it going. What I think about Chrome? I didn't have anything to say about Chrome because I really didn't have anyone kind of let me know what's in on it. I know it's one of the best marijuana plays right now. You know, it's sitting pretty, but you know, we've got some volatility here. We got some guys taking profits. So, you know, again, when we're setting up where should we go in terms of a trade, I'm going to put up my Keltner channels. And obviously, as you can see here, I'm at the top of the channel. This is not where I'm going to go in at, right? So I'm going to want to either play the test of the 25, right? Maybe look for a solid candlestick where we kind of sit on this, or something where it looks like we're going to bounce off this. You know, something to that extent. I wouldn't go in on Chrome here unless we get, you know, something like that, or we get a bullish engulfing signal where it shows that there's a ton of demand. still left in this thing. But right now, as you can see here, it's consolidating to go lower to find some kind of support. All right. Yeah. But what would make a great trade if this was a stock with some liquid options is possibly a let me see here, selling some calls up here. That would probably would be real nice. A bear call spread would probably be really nice up here. I don't know what you would get for it. Again, these tickers probably aren't very liquid on the option side. But I would definitely sell some calls there and take in some income on that setup. And again, that's what I'm doing on EWZ. EWZ here, selling some of these calls that I believe will expire out of the money as this continues to go lower to, I believe, retest the low, but we don't know. We don't know where we could end up, and could very well just try to hit the 50 or somewhere around there. But for the week, I just want to take in some of that income. Yeah, Chrome has earnings. Yeah, NVIDIA has earnings too coming up. Right? NVIDIA also has earnings too coming up. And I'm really excited for that, and I've already marked where I think, this could deliver. I mean, 174. I'm not going to say $30. I'm not, it could very well get a 15, to $20 pop, and then we start running from there. Right? But I would really love a 175 call for, 3, 4, 5 months down the road and get something like that now. So I'm looking at NVIDIA and where we could possibly be. And it could miss. And if we miss, then I want to be grabbing some of those 125 puts to the downside. And it's all about where do I want to put my money at in terms of where do I, reading the information that's out there, where do I want to put the most of the money at? And right now I'm totally on the bullish side of the trade when we talk about NVIDIA. All right, even though the last number wasn't too great, but I feel like it's adjusted, for those expectations, and I think they should deliver. We'll see. PCG. All right, PCG. Before we get out of here real quick. PCG. Isn't this the company that the California fires thing? This is the California fires trade, right? Yeah, definitely don't use Robinhood to day trade. Robinhood is not to day trade. Robinhood is a great weekly trade type of thing. If you're looking to weekly setups, Robinhood is great. It's free, right? You'll never have to worry about the PDT rule. You're setting up, you're looking at your proper setups. But Robinhood is not for day trading. I've seen guys lose money trying to get in and out of Robinhood because there's errors, and some like error, cannot complete your trade. I mean, I've seen guys literally with the app in their hand, right, and on the phone, lose money because Robinhood couldn't get them out of the trade. But if you're a weekly trade setup guy, Robinhood is just fine, particularly if you trade options, because now they're letting you, you can do the bear call spread, bull put spreads. You can do the spread stuff on Robinhood now. Yeah, But I'm with Interactive Brokers. I wouldn't go with anyone else just because at this point, PCG, though, they are the insurance company. Oh, no, the power company with the fires thing, right? Yeah, I mean, obviously, again, when you're looking to see where your proper entry should be, you always want to be, if you can trade something like this where you're at these low RSI levels outside of the band, the risk is very low here. These trades, you've got very low risk, low RSI, outside the bands. It's very low downside risk here. So if you got some time on your hand, this is your entry here. Now you're getting squeezed, you're getting nice and tight here, finding some traders. The declining volume here has me worried, though. The declining volume, but again, they're still holding steady with 7.3, 7.5, and you're climbing up here, so you could very well power through this, and maybe a decent earnings report or some nice news could be what you need here. And if you're looking into some trade like this, get yourself a nice stop, a stop that, a dollar below or something like that, and see what it can do for you. But right now, this 25 moving average has been kind of a wall here. But again, once you break through that 50 RSI and you start setting that new, you start setting new RSI highs, all right? Because this is another thing that can kind of keep prices below certain levels, is when you can't break RSI highs. When you can't set new levels for RSI, you can see price can't move higher. You notice that? All right, and some of you guys in here, I know I'm going real elementary right now, but that's the one thing to watch too when you start coming out of these low RSI levels, is you start looking for, where you get that break in that RSI high, and follow it from there. Okay. Yes, indeed. Yeah, Mr. Lloyd in Trading Futures. He mentioned that on the last call. Appreciate you, Mr. Lloyd. Yes, indeed. Shirley said something, but I'm not seeing it. Blue Apron. A couple more tickers. I don't know. I could do this all night. Shout out to Blue Apron. This is kind of one of those tickers that just shitted on itself out of the gate, right? We talked about Blue Apron and the disaster that was Blue Apron. When you're making, for every dollar you earn, it costs you $10 to get that customer, and that was their problem. They were just spending too much getting customers. You remember they used to have commercials and things like that. Now you don't see Blue Apron on TV anymore. All right, we actually had a guy come on the show and tell us that they were having issues with their supply chain, and he worked for Blue Apron and how they were having trouble and whatnot. Here's another beautiful, look at that, 25 RSI break, 25 moving average break, 50 RSI break. And as you can see here, there's the short. And you just stay, oh my God, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful trend. Beautiful trend. All right, and it's been a problem ever since. And here you go now, back above it. Back above it, and now you can really start seeing the stock move higher. And again, coming out of those RSI lows, man. Coming out of those RSI lows, looking for an entry. Looking for an entry. This is a great one here. You'd like to see a prettier candlestick than this, but I don't want to call that a bullish engulfing, but, not bad. Not bad. Climbing and finding. And then you got the sellers out of there. Those sellers were gone, and you had guys pick that up. You had guys pick that up. Yeah. Mental stops. Yeah, mental stops are A-okay. Mental stops are A-okay. Absolutely. What do I think about Ford? And that's a ticker I haven't played with in a long time. Is Ford. I see I did that for my video, only trade strategy you'll ever need. But Ford, as you can see here, man, we're talking about pennies here. And, again, the options are cheap, so you can really load up on them. But, man, it's just, I don't know where this is going right now. I don't know where this is going. And you don't really have huge downside potential here, right? We're talking 833 to 760. And that's not saying that we're going to go there. I'm just, so it's just kind of, I just feel like they're better plays in the market. But as you can see here, once a trend really does develop, you can make some really good money. But as you can see here, it takes quite a bit of time, right? I mean, even if you're looking at it you're buying options 2 months out, 3 months out, it takes quite a bit. We're talking June to October. Being disciplined enough to stay in the trade. Obviously, if it's going your way, you stay with it, right? You got to, in the money option, right? Preferably that's where you want to be if you can afford it. If not, then you might want to do again a call selling strategy until you can get the kind of money to buy in the money options. Out of the money options are fine too, but when out of the money options don't go your way, right? When the stock starts to bounce and now that time value starts hitting you, you start getting nervous, and that's why I always feel if you can't afford deep in the money options, then sell some calls. Sell some calls against a call. All right? Sell some call against a call until you can get the kind of money to buy deep in the money options and get more successful at directional plays. What's going on, stock boy? Low flow Chinese stocks? Yeah, thank you, George M. Yeah. I know there are not many left from the heydays, right? The 2015 days. There are not many left, but those low flow Chinese runners could very well spike. Guys will run into them. And when there's FOMO is a bitch, man. FOMO is a bitch if you're a short bias trader and you're trying to make some things happen and you're trying to short a stock or buy a put on a stock and guys just keep fucking buying the stock. And you're like, what the fuck? What are you guys doing? Do you really want this piece of shit? But, it just continues to go higher and higher and higher and higher. And those Chinese stocks can very well do that. They've done it before. When I look at CVS, man, somebody said, tell me about CVS. When you look at CVS, I still think of Amazon, man. I think the competition that's there for them. And I'm just not a fan. I'm just not a fan of CVS. At that $85 billion market cap, shit, they got a ton of stores, huge market, but earnings is coming up. I think it'll be disappointing. I think with what Amazon is doing now with their kind of Amazon 2-hour or whatever that is, I think there are a lot of people buying things and having it delivered that they otherwise, would make that late night trip to CVS to get, that they don't have to do anymore. They don't have to do anymore. But there's always going to be, room for that kind of corner store you can hit up, but at the size that where CVS, Walgreens, where they're at right now, it may take them having to come down a notch a little bit. What happened to IQ? What happened to IQ? I mean, remember, isn't this was the Chinese Netflix? Wasn't IQ like the Chinese Netflix? I pulled this stock up earlier today, and I saw guys talking about it. I'm not going to say it's trying to do that kind of. It's definitely not doing a run we saw earlier. Obviously, now we're not seeing the same kind of aggression as we saw, last year on the stock. But last year was again when I just got done talking about FOMO, IQ was that stock, man. You want to talk FOMO, IQ last year? That was insane, man. That was insane. Oh, George M., I don't want to, again, I appreciate the fact that you just came and you're watching, but all the tickers I'm following right now, I talked about EWZ, selling calls against that. EA probably going to end up selling calls against that hype news that came out tonight after hours. Sold some calls to that today, right? In and out of that today. What else I'm looking at right now? The pennies, right? I'm in the pennies right now. Pred is probably my most important position right now. But other than that, I'm waiting for Nvidia this week. Shopify tomorrow. Just trying to move some money around, but not looking to stay real committed because at the overall story I don't like. Overall story, I still think we're overly expensive. Market-wide, I think the market is just so expensive, and we really haven't priced in the risk. that we're going through right now. It's just not priced in. You know, when we look at places like Italy is goddamn broke. You know, Italy is broke. They just put out another $30 billion note selling. So we got cheap money buying cheap money. You know, that country is just practically broke. You know, now we got England leaving. We got a couple other countries talking about leaving the EU. So there's just a lot of risk out there right now that's just not priced into the markets. That they can keep it, you know, hype as much as they want, but eventually it will give in. And we're all in here, most of us, young enough. And I say all of it. Let me just say all of us, because it's going to happen in your lifetime. It's going to happen in your lifetime very, very soon. AVP, Avon. I'm surprised Avon is still in business. I'm surprised Avon is even still in business. You know, because Avon, I don't even think, what generation even is still buying Avon? I think it's the 60 and over crowd, isn't it? It's the 60 and over crowd that's buying Avon. You know, but again, the 60 and over crowd got the money though. You know, they still got daddy's New Deal money. The 60 and over crowd, they got their daddy's New Deal money. So I hand it to them. That's probably why companies like Avon can still exist. Another good tickers I like right now is Verizon. I actually kind of like Verizon at where it is right now, man. I feel like you're getting it real cheap. Earnings was delivered. Earnings were solid. And I'm just kind of surprised the way the market is treating Verizon right now. So I'm looking at a possible low risk situation here where we could, trend sideways and then eventually go for the break. But, people are looking at Verizon the way they look at utilities, right? Just a big kind of cash cow with no real excitement. But it's been an exciting stock before. I mean, it's ran before. So when you look at this kind of company and you're saying, can I get, $3, $4, $5 here if I were to give it some time, and you possibly could. It's a really low risk entry here. Give yourself $1 or $2 on the downside. If we break that, then you're out. But it's a really nice entry here for where you're at on Verizon. All right. And again, setting up the Keltner channels. All right, seeing here's the low risk entry, and you're just kind of hoping, and again, that it kind of does something like that. Obviously, we don't want to continue to see it ride higher, but look into the news and follow that. Yeah, that's what I said. Shop is interesting. I mean, Shop has been a killer, but let's see what they do tomorrow. Let's see what the number is tomorrow, and I'm going to be kicking myself if they miss tomorrow, because if Shop misses tomorrow, bro, you're talking maybe $15, right there if they miss tomorrow. I mean, just pull up the chart. If Shop misses tomorrow, just based on what you're talking at least $15, man. Again, I've already got it marked where you could end up, below 160 for the day, easy, if they miss. Now, even if they hit, let's say you open up $7 higher, now we're talking about a stock at an RSI at 78, 79, 70, 80, 81. So let it run, right? Let's get heavy overbought, and then now I'm going to look into be selling those 190s, 195s or something like that, trying to take some income on that while the stock just starts to settle in on that. All right. And thinking about it today, right? I thought about buying, some of those 165 calls on Shop, or buying some of the 164, 65, 165 puts. But it was just, so many opportunities, but you got to just be smart on where you allocate, because you don't want to spread yourself too thin, and now you're not making money anywhere, right? You got to put, where you just kind of fit, where you feel like the scenario just fits you best, you know, in terms of what's going to work out for your best interest sooner rather than later. All right, and shop. The more and more I looked into it, it started like, man, are we making a trade, or is this starting to feel like a guess? And it's starting to feel like a guess. So let's let the earnings report come out, and then when it comes out, it's not going to be a guess anymore. We can make an educated decision on where the market opens up at, how it's going to trade, to see what how this thing moves. All right, and as you can see, here's the trend line. It's really respected. I've been following this, and it's done. You know, look at the fakes, man. You know, look at the fakes that really punished you here. So let's see what happens. And it's just been holding it so well, holding it so well. All right, so let's see what happens with shop. Let's see what happens with shop. All right, as you can see here, the sell is at 161, bro. You know, you're $12 below a decent short. What would be a short signal for me? What would be the short signal for me? So the only way to really play this is to move to a lower time frame. And as you can see here, this, as you can see, they gave you the short today. If you wanted to trade this intraday, here was a beautiful signal. But as you can see here on the larger time frame, it's very well still in play for guys who are long. All right, and as you can see here, look, smack dab right there on that. So you saw this coming, But on the short time frame, you can see that was actually a pretty beautiful entry for someone buying a put there. All right, and again, on these time frames, I don't like to go shorter. I love the hourly, but 10 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, but 10 minutes is just fine, 10 minutes is just fine. Here's the EA, by the way. That was a nice opportunity there for somebody today, too. All right. Blue Apron, good stock. Yeah, right now, Blue Apron looks like a buy, man. We just talked about Blue Apron. Blue Apron looks like a buy here on the short term. Blue Apron looks like a buy here on the short term. Obviously, you would have loved to get it at that bottom that we showed. But GE is interesting here, man, because we had some, we got some resistance here. If we set some of these lines up, all right, on GE, yeah, I don't want to play it too tight because it's really that down here. But what's going on here with this? All right, how long are we going to stay in this little channel here? So this is really interesting to see on GE. Now let's go ahead and spread it out a little bit. Let's go to the daily. All right. So as you can see on the short term, we kind of lock in. When we spread out, when we come back, step back a little bit on the daily, we're at the top of the Keltner channel. So we kind of got ahead of ourselves, right? Obviously, we're not the only people who are looking at these charts. If you're a buyer saying, I don't want to buy that high from that high out of the channel, right? So I'm going to wait for some better prices, and sure enough, you came back touching that top of that channel, the Keltner channel. As you can see, guys stepped in today and bought some of that, and you could very well continue to ride that higher, right? But as you can see here, intraday, you're still, guys trying to figure that out, trying to look for the right way and the right places to buy this thing. All right, so it all depends on where you want to be. You want to, play real short term and kind of guess, or step back a little bit and get a more accurate signal. And as you can see, I could go to the weekly. You probably haven't even gone positive on the week. Yeah, it is. Look at that. You're just going positive now on the weekly. So this is your late entry signal for the weekly trader, right? But it's a high quality signal. All right, it's late, but it's a high quality signal. All right, and now you're going to figure out, are we going to reject here? Are we going to reject here? Right? Or do we start seeing a real trend, a change in trend for GE? As you can see, he hasn't been above the 25 moving average for quite a while. We got to go back to 2017 to really get a close above the 25 moving. This is a really great. Who brought that up? This is a really good. Shout out B for that. Appreciate you for bringing GE up. All right. So as you can see here, it's been a long time. January of 2017 that GE has been above that 25 moving average, and that's why I just was looking at, you know, ticker after ticker after ticker, and then something just said that 25 moving, that 50 RSI line is just such a great signal. And sure enough, I mean, you made a killing on GE. And just, this is kind of one of those things I wish I had the pattern back then. You made a killing on this thing. I mean, can you imagine you went with a deep in the money call here week after week after week? It's a great opportunity. Great opportunity. Money Grain, you said even if shop misses, it's still an opportunity to be long. Let me know how, though. Like, what are you seeing to say that? What are you seeing to say that? I'm about to lose my voice here in a minute. Because if it opens up with a beat, right? Let's say we open up with a beat. It comes out at 8 a.m., right? It's a beat. Now we're at, man, this is a pretty low flow place. Let's say we're opening up now. We're going to be at like 183, right? Up $10 pre-market. That RSI jumps to now 70, 75. Are you saying that at 75, 78 RSI, this thing doesn't cool all day? You still think that we open up at 185, you buy the 185 call for a test $2 or $3 or $4 more? Yeah, let me know what you feel about that. Troy, I love Sears. I love Sears, man. Again, I'm not a Q guy, but I've already mentioned that. I love that Sears play, bro. I love that Sears play. I love what he did with the company. I love the fact that he put his own money up. He's the largest shareholder. It's his responsibility. He went and got the job done, made the phone calls necessary to save the company, man. And anybody who followed him up with it, you banked, man. You banked. It looks like there were some scary times here. Here's the 25 again. You popped above that. It was a scary day here. You were very well above that back the very next day. Right? And then you had these uncertainty days, right? Days where uncertainty crept in. Guys didn't know what was going on. Sure enough, the news dropped and it's taken off. And look at this thing, man. I mean, this is 25 cents to $1.40. So, you're talking, 400, 500% on your money, popping up above that 25 RSI, 25 moving average, 50 RSI. Still got to get that down. All right. How do I feel like I'm a potential next day runner? Now you're tight. Now you're a little tight because again, now you're if you do, it's going to be a very small and tight day. Now you're pushing it a little bit. Again, you're already hot in terms of relative strength. Even if you were to, you're already at 10 times the trading volume. So now you're saying we're going to meet the same trading volume that we did yesterday. If not, maybe get more. And then the range is just going to be really tight. It's just going to be really tight. So if you get another day tomorrow, it's going to be a candlestick, something like this. It's not going to be another 25, 30 cents. At this price, yeah, at George just said, at this price, I'm not touching this at this price. Where you're at here on the daily. Even on the hourly, I mean, yeah, look at that. Even on an hourly stick, I mean, you're really buying high, those lower time frames are going to show you, these lower time frames are going to fool you on here and let you think that there's still some opportunity there. But again, moving to these higher time frames shows you that, if this continues to go higher, which it could very well do so, right? I mean, now we got a situation where a company is trading below book value. right? We're trading below book value at this point. It's got a $100 million market cap right now at these prices. So we're set to go higher based on book value alone. But you got an opportunity at a better entry. Yeah, Succeeder82, appreciate you. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Mr. Lloyd. I'm right there with you on even if they beat, they'll still drop. And that's why I'm saying, when we talk about Shopify, even if they beat, I wanna sell, $5 above where we open. I wanna, give me just like EA, because guys, I said the same thing with EA. People thought I was retarded. We opened up today 106 EA. I said, give me those 110. Let me sell those 110 calls. Give me those. Let me sell those 110 calls. So we open up tomorrow 185 shop. Give me those 190. Give me those 190 puts or whatever. That get killed in the morning. Overbought, oversold. You could make a fortune just focusing on just that. You're just getting good at overbought, oversold, and that's a nice little strategy. That's a nice little strategy. We all know that's legit. It's a legit thing to do. Just buying overbought, oversold. That's a thing. That's a thing. Snap. Yeah, it had solid earnings. And this is why I'm talking about it. I mean, again, Snap's got really beat up, but coming from where you were, that 5 to 8, it's a $3 move. But if you got these, you're sitting on that $5 call, that $1 call or whatever, that deep in the money call here, you doubled your money. You've doubled your money. And again, it's all easy to talk in hindsight, right? But again, let me see. Did the moving averages tell you? Absolutely. Look at that. You had a little bit of a fake, but again, it told you that the strength was coming back into the play. All right. And again, use whatever strategy that you use and follow it. It's going to make you money if it's a profitable strategy. Okay, the strategy actually has to be profitable, and you can always test it by back testing, looking back at old plays and stuff like that, and seeing what your strategy would have did if you would have followed it A to Z. Would you have made money on that play? And if you go back and you're seeing, wow, I would have made money here and here and here and here, I would have lost money here and here and here, and you're seeing more wins than losses, then that strategy is something you need to be following. Oh, Shirley, Sears will go to 2. Sears will go to 2. If they continue to do what they're doing, and this again, read the news. If he's legit saved the company for a year and a half, you're going to 2, just based on, again, book value alone. Read what exactly he's done with the financing. Figure out how much money has he really gotten and how long is he in play. How long is he in play for? Right? You're going to 2. My thing is either you're going to go to 2 from a great entry, or you're going to be a bag holder for 4 or 5 days, and then you're going to 2. That's the difference, because then you're going to be like, damn, I could have got in and bought myself a few more shares. Yeah, strategy is the only way. I had to get out of my own way, man. I had to get out of my own way, because we all have opinions, and 9 times out of 10, your opinion is wrong. Right? So you need something else that's better than you to be able to follow, because we all have ideas, and our ideas most of the time are wrong. So I just had to put something on this, on my charts, to say, no, you shut up, and this is the buy, and this is what we're going to do. And if it falls below it, then we sell. It is what it is. And then that's when I started making money consistently. Stop being an asshole and guessing all the time. LOCO, or getting emotional. I was having problems with that too, getting fucking emotional and shit. Getting emotional and shit. Like today, I got a little bit emotional today in EA for a bit, because in EA it opened up at 102, went to 106. I started buying the 95s. I started selling the 110s, and then it went to 104, and then went back to 106. Right? And then next thing you know, I'm $2 against me. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck is going on? But the signal was the fact that, the candlesticks were showing that there was hesitation there. I had to step out of my way. Anyway, let's go back to Loco. On Loco, you know what? I don't know anything about this play, man. I'm not feeling the setup either. I don't know why I'm not feeling the setup very much. And maybe because the volume just isn't where I like to see it at either. And let me know a little bit more about the company. I see it's a restaurant play. I'm not a big restaurant guy. I just feel like restaurants haven't done so well. I used to follow Chipotle very well. Chipotle, I think if you go back to some of the old, follow Chipotle a couple years ago, it just was very disappointing. It's been a monster this year. Good God, I haven't looked at Chipotle all year. Has anybody been looking at Chipotle? Shit. Good Lord. Up 100%? Or almost 100%. Yeah, if you see a play like this, I like this. Look at that. Let's zoom in on that a little bit. This is a play. This is what you want to see. Sellers are out, bullish engulfing pattern, right? We've got a candlestick swallows of the previous 2 days. Right now, it's just a straight. Oh, look at that. Strength. This is strength. Just boom. And there, here's a 25. A little hesitation there at the 25. But boom, right above it, above the 50 RSI. Now you're just sitting pretty, man. Right in that high trade. Now, obviously, if you're long, if you want to go long, you're hesitating here, right? I mean, you're looking at some of these candlesticks, you're like, right? And it starts to get a little tough to whether or not to see whether, if you want to get in on this thing. But, it's so much easier coming low to high than it is already buying in high, right? Buying in high is pretty tough, but the only thing to save you here was the fact that if you notice, you didn't really break, that RSI top didn't really break. You didn't really get too hot. You said you use point and figure? Yeah, I don't know, point and figure is crazy. That new management is making things happen. Yeah, man. I mean, I guess they are making things happen, bro. Must be low flow. Yes. CMG is pretty low flow. It's pretty low flow. It's like Shop. It's kind of like Shopify, man. It's kind of like Shopify. One of those expensive stocks that just doesn't have too much paper out there. And it doesn't take a lot of money to really squeeze the shit out of shorts, or be the best thing that ever happened for guys who decide to buy calls on it. All right, that's CMG. Kind of reminds me of a more expensive, well, not anymore, but more expensive Roku. Roku's another one. I don't know what the paper looks like now for Roku, but if you remember Roku, we were talking in 2018. The beginning of 2018, this was like 10 million outstanding or something ridiculous like that. I don't know what the paper looks like now on Roku, but Roku's, interesting little play. Starbucks is. Yeah, here's Starbucks. Get those channels out of there. There, Starbucks is another one. Nice place. Starbucks at all-time highs. Really? Shit. Okay, Starbucks. All right. So Starbucks doing their own thing, man. Shout out to Starbucks. All right, you can't follow them all. Starbucks with the breakout. Nice move. AZO, Autozone. Yeah, this is one thing I never understood about Autozone is how, yeah, right, Mr. Lloyd, perfect example. Very low float and then very low volume, and it just kind of does its own thing, right? Autozone, this is a very scary stock to short. You know, it's expensive as fuck. I mean, if you can afford to be shorting this, you need to be, you know, shorting a bunch of other, quality plays. But as you can see here, boy, there's a shitload of money to make on the downside too when this thing pops. Look at that, 760 to 589. But again, those options are expensive as fuck. Those options got to be expensive. I mean, it's not Amazon expensive, but you know, they're expensive. Okay, it got split and everything. Shout out to T. Kelly. When Disney acquired it, it's split and everything. Okay. Yeah. I don't know how much paper Roku has out there now, but we'll move along. Mara, deeper. Yeah. I mean, I'm watching it. I still got the alerts on the Bitcoin tickers. I still got the alerts. You know, Riot blockchain is still out there, right? You know, even though what CNBC did to Riot blockchain, I thought it was real fucked up. You know, I thought it was real fucked up what they did to that. I have a feeling that that was criminal, what they did to Riot blockchain, exposing the company just out of nowhere like that, and they had like a little special and shit. So I feel like that was on some low-key criminal type shit. But yeah, I mean, yeah, keep these, you know, keep an eye on these. As you can see, they got guys already trying to load up here. He had a bad day today in crypto, so obviously they paid the price, down 10% today. But yeah, if this comes closer, man, you know, why not just to see what could happen? See what could happen. But at this point, man, you know, I need to see a real move in crypto before I become a believer. You know, motherfuckers that got me hyped onto crypto almost got my show turned into a crypto show. Luckily, I held back because I was hard headed. And then, sure enough, you know, what was the name of that company that went belly up again? Man, you had guys in the ghetto talking about they had money in that bullshit. What was the name of that MLM scam? Oh my God, what was the name of them? You had that guy who made that viral video just like 3 weeks earlier, and then it goes belly up. No, what was the name of that scam? BitConnect, yes! Yes, BitConnect! Yes, man. BitConnect, bro. BitConnect. That's the name of that was the name of that goddamn scam, bro. Oh man. Goddamn, why didn't y'all tell me my camera's looking all fucked up? Hold on. I didn't say nothing. I'm over here looking janky as fuck. There we go. I was just gonna sit there looking like I got a hole in my teeth and shit. Alright, yeah, BitConnect was hilarious, man. BitConnect was hilarious. And then you had that African guy who made a video. I think his video is still out there. Oh my God, I lost all my money. They took all my money, $25,000, all the money. It's gone, man. Fuck, man. Motherfucker, they took my money. All my money is gone, man. I come here from Africa. No, which just all I had. And that was it. You know, got caught up in that BitConnect bullshit. You know, his ass probably on the way back to Wakanda by now. So that's a damn shame. A lot of people lost a lot of money on that shit, man. All right, so let's wrap it up. So let's wrap it up here. So again, a lot of great tickers, man. We pulled up so many tickers today. I mean, it's a lot of good stuff to be watching out there right now, man. You know, the OTC is just a monster right now, man. OTC is a monster right now. I hope it keeps going. I plan to keep it going, talking about it and all that stuff like that, tweeting about it. Follow me on Twitter, Got Penny Stocks. Please do that. All right. Let me see. What is somebody? Rocky Mountain High Brands. Oh no, I'm gonna be watching that one though. But I think it's got too much paper out there right now. ACGP. What is that? Radiant Creations Group. Andrew, what about RGCP? Okay. I'll be taking a look at it. ABEV. Oh man, this is gone, bro. Foreign companies, yeah, it's adios. That thing is gone. That thing is a monster. Nice move from the threes though. Nice move from the threes. It could very well keep going, man. I'm not saying that, you know, it's going. It could very well keep going. Looks like this is a stock that trends very well. So, you know, again, look at the channels and see what your entry looks like. Nice. So it looks like it's gonna hug that the top of the channel. Obviously, you want the entry. You either want an entry as close to the 25 as possible, because that's where a great entries is. You know, that 25 is really where you want to be. As you can see, it's faked out some people before. All right, it has done some fakes, but you really want to get in at the center of the channel. Nice move there, because you see you got some hesitation building here at the fives, and as you can see here, it's, you know, you got some hesitation here that you got to uncover here on the fives, 510s, 515s. All right, so do your research on it. Yeah, shout out to Rich Million. Appreciate you, Mr. Lloyd. I appreciate you, Mr. Lloyd. He said he had to tuck in the roaches. Hilarious. Yeah, I'm gonna have my Skype thing up for the next show. I'm gonna have my Skype thing up there. I'm promising it's not gonna be It's not gonna be 3 weeks. I really want to keep people up on to date on Pred, because I got some money on that myself. So we'll be keeping guys really on tap with what's going on in Pred. Yes, indeed. Yes, I was. What's going on, Jason? Got in with crept up to 25, moving to 525. Yeah. You got some hesitation on there, Jason, but it's doing its thing, man. It's doing its thing. One thing I'm looking at right now is CDE. It's so funny you bring up a $5 stock. Now, this is a silver miner, gold miner thing. So I'm paying attention to this a little bit. We'll see what happens to it. I mean, it's a stock that, again, you know, I kind of really respect some of its past moves when gold was really doing its thing. If I can bring up gold, right? So here's the price of gold, and then the price of gold is that blue, and then CDE is obviously the candlesticks. And as you can see, when the price really moves, CDE really moves. So right now what we got is kind of a delayed reaction going on here. I'm hoping this kind of catches up. I'm kind of hoping that this catches up and we start seeing a nice move on CDE. So this is a great thing to kind of tool to also use when you're putting a ticker on top of another ticker, particularly commodity-based plays. When you have a commodity-sensitive stock and the commodity starts running and that ticker's not running, it could very well be just a delayed reaction. And I'm hoping that's the scenario we see in some of these gold miners. Obviously, if you want to buy them in a bunch, right? Obviously, if you want to buy them in a bunch, you just gotta go with the J Nugs of the world, right? You can go with the J Nugs of the world and kind of do it that way. Negative is huge. It's starting very healthy here, breaking out of these, this August high here. This is really interesting. It was like almost. Why did I create that line for? I don't remember what I created that line for, and get rid of that. But starting off very, very healthy. Starting a very healthy little trend here that could very well, turn into something. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, shout out to, like I was saying, shout out to Rich Millions. Rich Millions new play? Okay, I'll keep an eye on that, man. Rich has been hot. Rich has been hot, so he's been delivering it for people. So shout out to Rich. Okay. GAHHC. And shout out to you, Dawson, man. I see you be making a killing there on Instagram, bro. Shout out to you for that. GHHC, yeah, here's a man. That one took off too. I don't know how, let's see that keeps going here. It's not the prettiest candlestick today, but nice move on that. Again, coming out of those lows, right, guys, stacking up here, right, the doubles. And sometimes the move is just to a penny, man. Sometimes guys just want, I'll grab a penny. As you can see here, you hit it and you started getting into that resistance, right? I mean, look at it. You hit a penny, then the very next day, you got guys like, I don't know if we can keep going. And then you find, new opportunities, new buyers who are ready to roll, and then they take this thing another 100%, another 130, another 140%. Nice move. Troy, I'm a swing. No, I'm more of a swing guy. I like to, if the stock is running, right, I'm staying in it. If it's a put, you're underneath my moving average, I'm staying in it. Being a day trader, and just collecting beer money and, looking back on trades that you got out that you're like, damn, I should have stayed in there. I would have made a lot more money. Like I said, 2017, I paid $7,000 in commissions, bro. Doing day trades, bro. It's ridiculous how, it adds up. By the end of 2015, I cut that in half. And the only reason I didn't cut that completely is because I didn't develop a strategy until maybe, September-ish, right? So I was bullshitting January 2018 until about September. Then I was like, fuck it, I'm going to be on this 25-10 shit. And then everything just went to hell. And that's when I made more money than I had made all year. There it is. Going into September, and in October, I was like, fuck it, 25 is 25. And I would just buy weekly puts, and the shit just would stay. And then that's where I came up with the 10. I came up with the 10 to get me out, because I was like, damn, where do I don't know when it's time to get out. So 25 is when I'll buy the put. And then if it crossed over 10, I would sell. That's when I knew it was out. It's time to get out. Went back, I would sell it again. Sell it again. So, and then 10, I knew 10 is when it's time to go. So that's where I created 25-10. My penny stock trading link, the Millionaire Trading Academy thing. Yeah, it's millionairetradingacademy.com. I appreciate you. I think I might I've gotten it fucked up there. Let me see here. Is it not working? Okay, yeah, it goes to that Tim Sykes website. All right, maybe I gotta fix the link or something like that. But yeah, it's millionairetradingacademy.com. You know, guys who fuck with Tim Sykes, and a lot of guys still do. I mean, he still has he's got like 7,000 people paying him $150 a month, bro. Ridiculous. But he spends a shitload of marketing too. He spends a shitload of marketing. I appreciate you, Jason. Yeah, it really does work. Really does work. And I had an ebook. I paid this lady to write an ebook to be my ghostwriter on it, and man, she didn't know anything about finance. And can you tell me a little bit more about moving averages? I said, well, a moving average is blah 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 blah. You know what? I don't really understand this. Can you please tell me? You know what? I was like, okay, all right. So, goddamn, am I really gonna have to write my own goddamn ebook? Shit. I'll be trying to work with these people from India, bro. These people from India, and whether it be Fiverr or these websites where working with people from Pakistan and India for you give them a 100-page ebook for $15. 100 pages for 15, dude. I do that all day. 100 pages for $15, and I'm gonna sell it for, I'm gonna sell it for like 99 cents. Right, you put it on Amazon for 99 cents and just kind of leave it there. So after my first 15 sales, I make my money back, and then it just makes me money from then on into infinity. And you got guys who make a killing, doing little bullshit like that, $2.99, $3.99 ebooks on Amazon, and you just put a shitload of them out there. And but she didn't know anything about moving averages, and she was running out of trouble with. So I was like, fuck, I gotta do this shit. The Book of Sal. It's funny. Yeah, I found her on Fiverr, man. Them Fiverr people be all right, bro. Them Fiverr people be all right, man. And not to put my homeboy out there, but man, he's doing his bachelor's degree at CTU or something like that, Colorado Tech, whatever it's called. And you didn't hear it from me, but a lot of people at that school, they get their papers written on Fiverr, bro. You got people who go on Fiverr, and y'all didn't hear that from me, but they getting a paper done over there. All right. Yeah, some of them are good though. Some of them really deliver. They really good at the graphics. Right. The guy who did my Supreme penny stock little clip thing, I got him from Fiverr. I paid $15 for that shit. I paid $15 for that shit. Yeah, bro. Bro, you can go on Fiverr right now and type in papers, or I will write your essay and stuff. Like guys from India, who do that shit. I just wish that Fiverr was there when I was in school. Bit Frontier Capital. Here's Bit Frontier. Yeah, this is a Bitcoin play. BFCH. And then of course you still have the BTCSs of the world, right? BTCS is still there. God damn, BTCS is getting shitted on, bro. BTSC, I know they're still there. Oh, hold on, BTSC looking like a buy right now. Hold on. BTSC looking like it's trying to do something. At 2 cents a share. Okay, BTSC. Yeah, looking like you trying to do something, bro. Let's look at that weekly. Oh yeah, man. It's still early, but there's the low risk entry. Ooh, I see you. Yeah, Yeah, the low risk entry when you just got that sideways, right? Trying to find buyers, looking for accumulation. Use the 3-day. Yeah, it's trying to do something. Look at that. Yeah, I see you. Okay. Yeah, somebody went in there huge. Somebody sees something. I know it's probably still got some paper out there though. I gotta read more into it, but let's see. Right now we got plays that are running for real right now. Pred, Shrimp, VYST, a couple plays out there that are running for real, you know. Yes, indeed. All right, guys, I kept you for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Damn, is it 2 hours? I kept you guys for a long time. I appreciate you. You guys know that. All right. Somebody told me there's another guy doing live streams for penny stocks. Is that true? Is there another guy doing live? Man, that's the thing. You know, everybody's free to do their own show, but one thing you can't copy is personality. You know what I mean? You can't really copy personality. And I think that's just kind of one thing about me is, you know, other people can do live shows, but man, I be watching some of these guys and it's just like, man, like it's not really giving the information in a way that's like, you know, making you feel that shit, man. You know, are you doing it because you trying to sell something, or you really love this shit? You know, do you really love this shit, man? You know, and that's the thing about YouTube is you got guys who just trying to, and I don't mind it because I'm trying to get in that hustle too. You know, trying to sell something and, you know, maybe rely on some other income, but I really love this shit, man. You know, I'm not here to sell your ebook, or I would have been sold you one. I'm not here to sell a training course. I would have been sold you one. All right? I'll have somebody else create and I'll just make $1 off that. You know, if that's what you want, I'll put it in your face. But I really want to understand how to really do this shit. You know, because I know the rewards. I've seen it in my own life. I've seen how it's helped people like you know, guys who could never take a vacation. All of a sudden they got 15 racks, you know, to be able to do something. Put a down payment on a house, get a new car. You know, guy told us that he made $800 on the stock. I mean, little things like that can really do something for somebody, man. You know, so that's all I'm asking. Like, I know I'm not live all the time, but man, just be careful who you're following sometimes out here. You know, you got a lot of frauds. You know, you had this other guy, I'm not even going to put his name out there, but associated with Tim, and Tim, you know, get caught up in his hype. Dude went out and created a DVD, sold a whole bunch of the DVD and never delivered the DVD, and now, you know, Tim won't even talk about the dudes. I don't, you know, so just, man, just be careful out there, bro. Yeah, y'all hit that like button. Yeah, definitely hit that like button. You know, watch your money, man. Because these people will take your money and leave you with nothing. You know, some of these guys have been selling courses for years. Not one real successful student. You know. Yeah. I do have to, Shirley Lewis. You're right, man. I do have to. I really do have to, man. You know. But like I was saying at the beginning of the show, man, it's hard to do this YouTube shit when you start making money, though. When you finally got a system that works, and you ain't really got to be a slave to YouTube like I used to be, you know, you ain't really got to be a slave and do it every day, you know, because you're able to go into the market week in and week out and pull out money, right? Because again, you got a system going for yourself, you know, that's putting you into the right situations. So when you got something like that figured out, it's kind of hard to just, you know, do this YouTube shit, but I love it because I love talking about it. I love talking about stocks. And this is really the only place that I could go to get that high. to get that high. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll be coming back, man. I know I've been kind of janky with the shows. I'll be coming back, cause shit's really popping off on OTCs right now, man. Shit's really popping off. Alright. Alright, did we miss talking about anything? I want to make sure we got everything. I think we covered everything. We covered earnings. We covered the tickers that are running. Tickers that could possibly run. We're watching Bitcoin. Right? Everything else, obviously the frauds are still running, right? The frauds like Square and all of them, the frauds are still running. Overstock, overstock.com, all these frauds, they're all still running. All the Overstock, I can't wait. Boy, Overstock, just send me the signal. Overstock.com, just send me the signal, man. Because this one, I feel like this is going to be some money. I think this sucker's going to 12 and lower. All right, I've been waiting. I missed this one. I missed this this big one right here. And of course, when the selling stops, you start to fade. You get up, and now what we're seeing here is either we're going to get to support or we're going to blow through that. And I'm going to be, what is that, 1733 right now. So I'm going to be looking at a 25 to or maybe even $30 put in the money put, depending on, of course, how much they cost. And then let's just see what it does. Do we just hit the low and run out, or do we hit the low and just kind of keep going? So Overstock has been a huge loser for, as you can see here, a very long time. So we got the, again, selling off, and then it starts to get, and as you can see here, when it gets back under, it's a big opportunity to make some money. All right, here's the fake, here's the big opportunity to make some money. Missed that situation back in September, but here's the new opportunity. So I'm waiting to see that today. So that really came on my radar today. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. BLKCF. Yeah, goddamn. Yeah, here's the thing though. You don't really want to be buying into stocks that are making new lows. BLKCF, yeah, it's. I mean, as you can see here, it's god damn, this thing is shitted on itself. But it's still making new lows, right? So what you're looking for is, as we just showed them on a couple of charts, you're just kind of looking for that kind of sideways action, right? And if you've seen, and they're everywhere, floating around on Google and on Instagram. Get yourself an Instagram too. Use those hashtags, option trader, option trading, stock trading, day trader, day trading. A lot of guys could put out a lot of great content on Instagram too. I was actually quite surprised by that. But one thing you'll notice is that if you put out those little things, that it will show you the different stages of where a stock is. All right, so we're still making new lows, right? So we still got sellers in here. We still got paper that's being dumped. And eventually that runs out, and then you go through a stage of what's called accumulation, right? And accumulation is basically, it's just a sideways kind of action where you're just waiting for more buyers to kind of come in and take that float off the table, right? And what you don't want to come in the beginning of that. You want to come in where it's either been a while or we're starting to see where we're coming out of accumulation, and that's where typically you'll run into that 50 RSI, and that's where you want to be at and be there for liftoff. All right, yeah, shout out to people who brought apps. Apps is here's a play like that. Again, the sell off, the sideways action. You actually got fooled a little bit here. All right, here's accumulation. You had the pop, false signal, pop, signal faded. Here's the pop, boom, stay in there. And as you can see here, eventually you could have sold out there. And then that's why, again, I created that 10 moving average to kind of get me out of those kind of situations where we may fade out, right? So as you can see, that 10 got you out here, unless you sold out here, of course. But look at that. This is a beautiful signal here. Look at that. Here's the pop. Doesn't get you out at the highest, but got you out before the real sell-off. But as you can see here, it didn't go below. It just stayed up. So, you know, it's a tricky thing sometimes. It's a tricky thing sometimes. You don't have to make a call for what's best, but as you can see here, apps above the 25 and soaring. Above the 25 and soaring. So now you're above the Keltner there. You're a little high, right? So what you're going to see is you're going to see it sell off, and it's going to come back down a little bit, and find new buyers and new money to come into this thing if that takeoff is real. All right. And again, you already see examples of that. All right. If you go back into the chart, you'll see it'll start to take off. Guys start to hesitate. All right. Comes back into the channel. Here's new buyers. Here's support. New money. Boom. Out. Same thing. And then eventually you had the breakdown, whereas you had that double top action here. As you can see here, you couldn't break some real, couldn't set any real serious high. All right, and when you get a double top, it's typically going to be a sell-off. That's a really nice pattern there. Oh, that was actually a really great short. So beware of that. Beware of that. All right, but now I'd want to be a seller there. But yeah, breakout for the year, absolutely. Yeah, MGTI is still there. What's his name? McCaffrey. I think he's not McAfee or whatever not his name is. He's not. I don't think he's involved anymore with the story. But here he is, MGTI. This guy's starting to kind of pick that up off the floor here. I remember when that was a $3 stock, bro. I remember when that was a $3 stock. Jason, EA worked great. I talked about EA today. Yeah, nah, Kenny Dutton, it's not like that, bro. I've worked really hard. I'm not a millionaire yet, but I've worked really hard to generate the kind of returns I'm doing now. I was getting a little cocky, posting up my gains for a couple months there, and I'm kind of off that shit, because when I notice when I go to some of these meetup groups for stock trading, these guys are, sitting on stupid M's, man. I mean, 3, 4, 5 million, they've been trading for 35, 45 years, they're in their early to late 60s, or, you know what I'm saying? And these guys ain't telling you nothing in terms of like, hey man, this is how much I made today. They ain't telling you none of that shit. They're focused on making sure they're taking the correct entries. They're taking the proper exits when trades aren't going their way, and they're just trading appropriately. That's all they're focused on. The money's going to come if you do that. I've just been learning from them. The money's going. You don't even have to talk about, oh man, I made $10,000. Okay, if you just get it right, the money is going to come. But yeah, get yourself a system, man. Get yourself a system, whatever that is. And I got a video out there, again, the only trading strategy you'll ever need, just to kind of give you insight on what it should look like and how you should be able to explain your strategy to someone else. And that's why that video was very important to me, because I wanted to put that together, how to explain it. If you can explain it to other people and they can back test it, it's good. My Insta is Got Penny Stocks. I need to get my Instagram back under control, because right now I've been on that weight loss shit. I've been really working on my weight loss, and I did really good, man. I've gone from 255 to 2. Now I'm probably back at 229. I was at like 224 for a little while, so I'm at 229 now. But it's hard, man. You're sitting at home and eating donuts and shit like that, and you're not really going out, sitting in front of the computer. I got big for a minute, so I had to do something, man. So right now, my Instagram is kind of on that weight loss bullshit, but I got to turn it back to what it was before. But right now, it's just to kind of keep me in front of my weight loss program. God damn, I appreciate all you guys who are still watching me. I know I said I was going to leave out of here like 30 minutes ago. That's me and my big mouth. Shout out to all the people who've been, checking out my sponsors. Equity Feed, Black Box. Appreciate all you guys who've been taking advantage of that. All right. With my day traders out there. Right. And there's also a great way to trade Equity Feed or Black Box with on a monthly type or a weekly type of setups. Where you really start paying attention to the guys who are showing you those alerts, but they have got a shitload of time on the option that they're buying. Those are very, very suspicious type plays. I should make a video on that. All-nighter? Ah, man, no. Those 8-hour shows like we used to do? Man, I ain't did one of those in a minute. But they're still up. I still got a few of those shows up, them 8-hour shows that we used to do, bro, from like 2 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon to 10 at night, just talking about tickers. Well, we used to kill people in front of the computer. People coming, oh my God, Sal, you're still live, bro? Hell yeah, I'm really about this shit. Yes, indeed. All right, so again, guys, a lot of opportunity tomorrow. We got EA up after hours. Again, EA is really interesting because they're going to squeeze people tomorrow. All right, they're going to squeeze people tomorrow, and I don't know how big the squeeze is, but I'm going to be looking for 106 and above again, 108, maybe 110, and then I want to be buying some puts up there at the 110s, 112s. We'll see how they open up, but as you can see here, it gives it back. It gives it back after that selling kind of subsides. That was a really great day today. I mean, almost $10. Almost $10 from the high to the low, off that hype news on that game. But FOMO is for real though. You got to be careful. That FOMO is for real. That FOMO is not to be played with, bro. FOMO will have you, selling for a loss. Here's what happened. Here's EA. Here's the break. That's not the moving average. And one gets to get a little later. Here's the 10. A lot of false signals with that. But again, for me, it was just the fact that we couldn't break the morning high. And that's what made me sell those 110 calls. So I'm going to be looking for another situation like this when you're looking at those candlesticks again. When you get that morning open and then it can't break the open. If you break that open, this thing is moving higher, man. When you can bust through the open, you're moving higher. As you can see, it tore a lot of people a new one on the squeeze. All right. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Yeah, open mic Fridays and all that stuff. Crazy shit, bro. Yep. Hell yeah, man. I used to drink. Fried chicken Fridays. Oh, man. See, that was my problem with that fried chicken, man. Shit. It's hard to, goddamn, just talking about it. I fought a 2-month war against fried chicken, bro. I love me some fucking fried chicken, bro. Some big ass crispy chicken, Popeyes, KFC. Bro, give me a bucket of and when I go to the drive-thru, bro, I don't even pick up like a 6-piece, bro. I'm retarded, dude. I go in there and I'll pick up like a 20-piece, 25-piece. I don't even eat it at one time, man. I'll eat like 3 or 4 and come back like 2 hours later and then another. I had to stop that shit, man. When I go to fried chicken, I don't know what it is about the fried chicken spot. I cannot just get the 2-piece, 3-piece. I can't do it. I gotta get a 15-piece. I gotta get a 20-piece. I gotta get 4 biscuits. 2 extra sides. And again, I don't even finish it at one time. It's not like I'm sitting there just like, no. It'll be there for, a day or two. But it's too much food, man. it wasn't good. Feeling, I don't know about 100 pieces, but and that hood chicken too, that gas station hood chicken. Oh my God, bruh. If you live in the hood or live somewhere near the hood and you got that gas station that sell chicken, not all of them hit, but a lot of them be lip smacking good, bro. Especially when you hungry and you overpaying for the chicken, right? I mean, it's like, man, what the fuck? $9 for a fucking 4-piece? But it's so good. But it's so fucking good. No, I'm not getting myself hungry now because the taste is off my tongue now. I done trained myself, I can talk about it all day. I ain't gonna go out and buy a bag of chicken. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Levante, you're absolutely all dangerous areas have great food. It's true. Greasy, nasty, unhealthy food, but when you're hungry, they're great spots to eat, man. A lot of places like that in Detroit too, but you gotta be, checking your back all the time. And I remember one time I was just broke as fuck, and I was kicking it with this girl that I met online on some dating app. I think it was like Plenty of Fish or some shit like that. And I took her into this it was bullshit. I would never do this now with a girl, but just a little horrible hole in the wall. And we're sitting there eating or whatever, and it was quiet, and this dude comes in and just like, what the fuck? Y'all give me this wrong ass food, man. Fuck this bullshit. I'm like, oh my God. He's just raising his voice, just loud, and and this motherfucker didn't have no shirt on. He was kind of swole too. You know what I mean? And really just kind of disrespecting the people. And the thing, I was like, okay, I'm with a girl. If this nigga disrespect me, do I have to swing on this motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? Where are my weapons at? Okay, I see a fork over there. Okay, I see a knife over there. I thought I might have to swing on this motherfucker because he was just, I don't know how to explain it to, you guys, but when you in those kind of environments and you got a nigga that's just kind of acting real violent, reckless, and now you're on guard, right? Because, okay, is he going to test me? Is he going to test me? What am I going to do? How am I going to respond? I got a drumstick and a chicken wing and a fork and a knife, And how you respond, shit, it could change your whole life. You know what I'm saying? So it's those environments just be, I can't deal with that shit no more. I'm too old for that shit, man. I'm too old for that shit. I'm an old head now in those kind of locations. You go to the, you see a big swole nigga. It's like, what's going on, brother? Black power. Don't, you gotta hit up with the black power so you don't, the motherfucker don't test you. You know what I mean? 'Cause them situations go out of control quick. What the fuck you looking at, nigga? I'm saying? I'm trying to get some ass tonight, bro. I'm trying to get some ass tonight, man. I can't have you making me look bad in front of this girl. I'm not gonna wife her. She from the hood. She got a fat ass booty. I'm trying to hit, so I'm trying to look good. Shit. So anyway, let me get up out of here, bro. I appreciate y'all watching me, man. Let me get back to this tomorrow morning. Tomorrow the market opens. Is another day. And looking forward to seeing where the market goes. And right now, man, like I said, we haven't gone anywhere. Guys want to act like we back to all-time highs or something like that, man. They're going to keep juicing it up, but I'm looking at some of these candlesticks, and they're kind of small. They're kind of small. But I'm looking at after hours, and they're keeping the pump going, man. They're keeping the pump going. And as you see, you got your buy signal, so just keep respecting Keep respecting the averages, bro. Appreciate y'all. Let me go do my outro here. Yeah. Let me see. Let me do my outro. Appreciate y'all, man. Hopefully it's not too loud. Joe Craft, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Joe Craft. Bruce Mason, thank you so much. Who else was in here? Levante, appreciate you, bro. Kenny Dutt, man. Shout out to you, bro. Long time listener. I know you've been here around a long time, bro. I appreciate you. Lord Yase, appreciate you, man. Thank you, bro. Blue Cousin, thank you, man. Who else was in here? Desert Edge, Jason Gatewood. Levante, what's going on, bro? Jeff, what's up, man? Shout out to all the people who are in here. Mr. Lloyd, I saw Mr. Lloyd, Shirley Lewis. You know, I got a lot of. Shout out to you, George M. Thank you, man. I got a lot of stories about some honeys that I've been messing with lately, because me and my girlfriend got into it, and so I went on a binge for like 2 weeks just dating a whole bunch of different honeys, man. You know, so I got a lot of interesting stories, man. I'll share with you guys that, you know, over time or whatever. Until then, follow these tickers. Tomorrow's another day of trading. Peace out, everyone. George M. Yeah, George M. Shout out to you too, bro. Victor Pezos. Dawson, what's up, bro? Appreciate you, bro. All right, I'm out of here. Trade well, everyone. Take care.